The greatest anime ever is Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Favorite anime is Evangelion.
Evangelion is quite possibly my favorite anime of all time.
People really think that Evangelion is the best anime of all time? Like, Shinji is so annoying. All he does is complain since the moment we're introduced to him. He has all the tools to not only save people, but give himself a purpose. But he still runs away from it all. Like, imagine that. Doesn't sound like anyone I know. Ah, damn it. Evangelion, the face of existentialism on YouTube. Even if you haven't seen the work, it's almost inescapable. It's literally been my channel banner from when I started YouTube. And it's not only influential to modern day anime, but iconic as one itself. So when I saw it referenced in the Jujutsu Kaisen episode, I was reminded that we likely won't see an anime like it again. Nowadays, the anime fandom is so large and critical that it would be held in a much different light. EVA was a manga and an anime that wasn't predicated on appealing to the masses. While it did end up doing exactly that, likely because of the cool mechs, which I'll get to, it was built on the symbolism of existing and the struggle that lies within it. It took extremely risky turns. I mean extremely risky. What the f? And there's likely a lot of people that dropped it, which I wouldn't blame you. I genuinely hated it at first, and I couldn't understand the praise it got, but then I understood the actual meaning. And understanding EVA isn't as elite as it sounds. All you gotta do is have a really dark place in your life. So trust me, there's nothing elite about resonating with the anime, and if anything, it's better that you didn't. Good on you for avoiding depression. But as someone who did resonate with it and continues to use its influence as some type of motivation, I feel the need to describe my journey with EVA and why it means as much as it does to me. Anime characters have taught us that there are many ways to approach issues in your life, training to become strong and leading others down a better path, or just living in the moment and being carefree despite the issues, ending half of humanity, or running away from all your issues entirely. Shinji wasn't just annoying, but he was a representation of myself at the time, and I hated seeing that.
自分が出てるところ
Having the tools to live and the chance at making your own purpose, but running away from it all and just wanting to give up. It's exactly what I have done in the past and will continue to do for as long as I live. Not because I want to, but because knowing you have those tools isn't always enough. It's so easy to ignore the fact and continue seeing your life in first person while getting stuck on the worst aspects of it. But what Evangelion does is allow you to look at yourself from the third person. What we're not meant to do, but philosophers and others attempt to in the pursuit of answers. But no matter the answers we end up with, it will never stop us from going to that dark place, because life isn't scripted. The position you're born in, the circumstances you go through, and simply how you feel in the moment. There's so much that goes on, and while some people try to act stoic throughout, most find themselves completely defeated, like Shinji, and unfortunately many times to the extreme. Mental health is something we'll always have to deal with, and despite awareness of that in the current age, it's still not fully represented. It's not taught in schools, not as prioritized in most homes, and not something that will always be diagnosed and treated. So it helps to see relatable figures sharing that sentiment even if they're fictional, that it's okay to not be okay. But what about those dope-ass mechs? I think all symbolism aside, one of the genius things Anno was able to do is creating cool art out of this very dark topic. He made this during a dark time of his life and expressed that himself. Hideki, similar to other artists, can only express his depression through an art form.
表現というのは基本的に欠落したものを埋めていく作業だというそれを人に伝えるための努力自分をまともにしようとする努力とにかくまともな手段で他人と関われない人たちがちょっとうがったことをしてなんとか自分と他人との間を保っているそれが表現というものだと思います少なくとも僕はそうですねアニメや映画をやることによって人と関わり続けることができるそう思います
But he knew that people aren't eating up a story with a kid who hates everything, especially himself. Why would I watch some depressed ass main character? Yo, are those mechs? Nice. We needed some badass mechs, and that's exactly what we got. It also influenced one of my favorite mechas in Gurren Laggan.
Definitely Tengen Toppa Gurren Laggan.
My favorite has gotta be Tengen Toppa Gurren Laggan.
It's always going to be Tenga Toppa Gurren.
My favorite anime is Gurren Laggan.
It's like the anti-Eva view. In a very similar way, we follow a weaker MC, but instead of staying I hate to say it, but a bitch, he becomes an absolute unit by showing us what it means to live and just straight up fighting his way through it. Which is an amazing way to look at it. And I mean, when you hear that theme, fight the power, how can you not want to get up and just hit 100 push-ups? It's the other way of looking at it, the same way we see shonen main characters who are always happy, go through something rough, and then train their way out of it. The indomitable human spirit. But again, even with that mindset, which I love and attempt to hold at most times, it's so easy to fall out of it. There are people like David Goggins who simply don't look back. He always has the tough mindset, and I respect that. But the reality is, sometimes we find comfort in those tough times. It may not be the healthiest thing, but it's at least how I felt many times. Admitting that you're not okay, and acknowledging that you have every reason to feel that way. But that's not the important part. The important part lies in how you come back from it. And Evangelion in its closing showed exactly that. My channel banner is specifically from the final Eva movie. During the closing scene, we see Shinji looking across the beach, sitting down and taking it all in. I could go into breakdowns for all the characters and scenes, but specifically Shinji in his closing moments. He accepted life for what it is and looked to move on. It's the message I needed from Hideki Anno, more than any other in the end of Evangelion. There's multiple movies, and I honestly appreciate all of them, but Anno was able to wrap it up in this one perfectly. Shinji went through some horrific things, I mean, it's a mecha anime, but the more important aspect is that he changed his own perspective. In this sense, no matter who you are or what you went through, you could look at Shinji and understand that he was not okay. It affected himself and people around him for a very long time, but it eventually got better. It wasn't a quick change, he had to clearly age, and it likely isn't a perfect spot to be in. He'll continue to face issues because that's life. But like those waves, his life will continue no matter the lows or the highs. He found ways to move on and will carry that dark place with him while learning to be in a better place overall. Sometimes anime isn't just about enjoyment, but teaching us about life itself.